Hello, my name is Michael Chamberlain, and I'm the Director of Data Management in the Transportation Planning and Programming Division at TxDOT. And today I will review program documents for Phase 1 of the competitive grant program along the electric alternative fuel corridors. The first document is the request for grant applications for RFGA. The Texas Department of Transportation invites interested parties to submit applications to purchase, install, operate, and maintain direct current fast charge equipment in designated electric vehicle study areas along the electric alternative fuel corridors. Grants will be awarded statewide on a competitive basis in accordance with the eligibility requirements specified in this document. Applicants should read and understand the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Guidance and be prepared to meet the Federal Highway Administration final rulemaking for the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Standards and Requirements. Applicants should also read the Texas Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Plan and familiarize themselves with the content of the TxDOT EV landing page. Questions about the RFGA, technical or otherwise, should be sent to TxDOT_NEVI@txdot.gov. Any updates or corrections to the program documents, RFGA, site host form, or application during the open application window will be published as a program addendum on the TxDOT EV landing page under the Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Grant section. Each addendum will be specific to the document and page of the correction. Post-submission discussions will not be held with applicants. Phase 1 of the program will develop direct current fast charge locations along the electric alternative fuel corridors as outlined in the Texas Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Plan. The 56 EV study areas are listed on page 21 of this document. This is a map showing the original study areas from the Texas Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Plan. Grant funding is available along the electric alternative fuel corridors for the purchase, installation, and operation, including maintenance and usage reporting for DCFC electric vehicle supply equipment. There are 15 project requirements on the eligible projects page. Selection criteria. There are 17 items on this page. There are 7 qualitative items and 10 quantitative items. We will cover these in other sections in greater depth later in this video. Program schedule. The timeline for the program started on August 17th with the passage of the implementation plan by the Transportation Commission and extends through 2023, 2024, and 2025. This is a flexible schedule dependent on the phases. No construction can begin until environmental clearance is complete, but there will be a flexible schedule that will roll based on the progress of each individual study area. EV study areas. Study area latitude and longitude coordinates are provided for reference and do not indicate preferred location for EV charging. EV charging sites proposed by the applicant can be up to 1 mile from the latitude and longitude coordinates, and you can click a study area name to view the map. So we provide the coordinates as a reference, but that does not mean that that point is where we want the charging station to be. Each of the study area names is a link, and if you click on that link, then it will open a map of the study area. And this is a sample of a study area map for the first station. And if you click on the circle, you will get more information about that study area. And there is one of these for each of the 56 study areas in phase 1. The last page I want to highlight is a scoring worksheet. As I mentioned before, there are 7 qualitative items and 10 quantitative items. This page shows the breakdown, description, and total points for each item, and we'll show you where that information is applied later in the process. This concludes the overview of the request for grant application document. Texas Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Application. This application is for the installation, operation, maintenance, and usage reporting of direct current fast charge stations along the electric alternative fuel corridors in Texas. Proposals will be evaluated on a competitive basis with information provided by applicants in this document. A list of EV study areas with study area name, latitude, longitude coordinates, and map links can be found in the request for grant application document found on the TxDOT EV landing page. TxDOT will only review one application per company or respondent, and successive submissions will not be considered. Save a local copy of your completed application first, then send the application to TxDOT using the Submit Form button in the document viewer or by email to TxDOT_NEVI@TxDOT.gov. The deadline for submissions is October 16, 2023 at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. TxDOT will send a confirmation email your application was received, but confirmation could take up to 24 hours. Paper copies will not be accepted. TxDOT recommends using the free Adobe Acrobat Reader program to complete the application. Other PDF viewers or web-based PDF viewers have not been tested with the application or supporting documents. In addition to the grant application, applicants are required to attach specification sheets for the proposed DCFC equipment that clearly shows how the equipment will meet NEVI requirements. This includes the minimum 150 kilowatt per port requirement. Power sharing is acceptable as long as each port receives 150 kilowatts or greater simultaneously, and the ability to ensure 150 kilowatts per port can be delivered to battery packs with 400 or 800 volt architecture. Preliminary design specifications or plans at potential site locations can be forwarded with the completed application. Please do not send marketing materials or brochures. Page 2 starts the contact information. The first item is the submittal date, which is the date you submit the application, followed by the entity name, submitting the application, the point of contact name, point of contact email, point of contact phone number, and the business address for the entity. General information 1 starts the qualitative section of the application. First question is, describe your experience installing, operating, maintaining, and reporting usage for DCFC charging equipment. Include key personnel, experience, and examples of similar work completed in Texas or other states. These text boxes, this text box does not include special characters or graphics. It is text only. General information 2. Under this program, 80% federal reimbursement occurs after the site is 100% complete, permitted, inspected, and open to the public. Describe your plans to finance construction until eligible for reimbursement. General information 3. List the payment options that will be available to users of DCFC equipment and describe how each method works. Include plans to handle unbanked users of the equipment. General information 4. Describe your training and certification program for DCFC installation and maintenance. General information 5. Does the DC fast charge equipment and software support the application of idle fees after the charging session is complete and the grace period has expired? The length of the grace period will be set in the awardee's contract. This is a yes or no. Does your plan include a contact phone number or web support page posted at the location to assist users? Yes or no. Is the proposed equipment Build America, Buy America compliant? Yes or no. Is the applicant a certified hub entity? Yes or no. Now we get to the worksheet. The worksheet instructions are very important. Each record in the worksheet represents an EV study area from the Texas EV plan. Apply for as many study areas as desired in one application. Read and follow the directions, super important. TxDOT will not correct or infer values that do not follow the standards, and incorrectly populated records will not be scored. Ports is a whole number between 4 and 8. It represents the number of ports proposed in your application. The Texas EV plan on page 51 lists the desired number of ports per EV study area. Per federal highway requirements, ports cannot be less than 4 per location. Power is a whole number greater than or equal to 600. This column represents the total proposed power of the location. Power is divided by number of ports during scoring for power per port. For federal highway requirements, power per port is 150 kilowatts or greater. Estimated study area cost is a whole number without dollar signs or decimal places. Commas after every third number are encouraged. This column represents the total estimated cost to provide a fully functional EV charging location at the proposed power level with the proposed number of ports. Requested grant amount is a whole number without dollar signs or decimal places. Commas after every third number are encouraged. This column represents the amount of grant funds requested to provide a fully functional EV charging location at the proposed power level with the proposed number of ports. Requested grant amount will be divided by the number of ports during scoring to determine cost per port. The requested grant amount cannot be more than 80% of the estimated study area total cost. 5-year operation and maintenance is a whole number without dollar signs or decimal places. Commas after every third number are encouraged. This column represents the total proposed 5-year operations and maintenance estimate for a fully functional EV charging location at the proposed power level with the proposed number of ports. Restrooms will be available to users of the charging stations. This is a yes or no. Restrooms do not have to be owned and operated by the site host or equipment provider. Charging stations located in the same parking lot of shopping malls, restaurants, convenience stores, or other retail locations are acceptable. Pull-through space, at least one available for light-duty vehicles pulling trailers. This is yes or no, and this is if the site location will support it. Hosting agreement in place at the time your application was submitted, yes or no. Sign and email the hosting agreement with your completed application to TxDOT NEVI at TxDOT.gov. If yes, there should be one hosting agreement form for each site applied for in the application. Now we get to the worksheet. The worksheet is a table. The first column is ID. The second column is the city or study area name, followed by ports, power per in kilowatts, that's total site power, estimated study area cost, requested grant amount, 5 years of operation and maintenance, restrooms, yes, no, pull through, yes, no, hosting agreement, yes, no. The first record in the table is a sample record. Okay, item 0. The next record is where you will enter data for each study area that you want to apply for. You will enter the number of ports, power, estimated study area cost, requested grant amount, 5-year operations and maintenance amount, and then yes or no on these items. You will do this for as many study areas as you want to apply for in the application. The study areas are listed in priority order from top to bottom. So 1, 2, 3. There are 5 pages of study areas all the way down all the way down to Balmorhea at the end. All the items in the worksheet will be scored programmatically and are the quantitative items. The qualitative items are the narrative portions in the beginning. The qualitative score and the quantitative score will be combined for a total score. This application should be returned by October 16th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. You should return your site host forms, 1 per EV study area, and your NEPA clearance forms, 1 per study area, when you submit your applications. This concludes the Texas Electric Vehicle Infrastructure application. NEPA Clearance Form. This form is used for requesting a categorical exclusion determination for installation of electric vehicle infrastructure under the Texas Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Plan. Each EV study area requires its own NEPA clearance form. The TxDOT Environmental Affairs Division will make the categorical exclusion determination, and construction cannot begin until the determination is made. Applicants will fill out their information on page 2 with a name, phone number, email address, the name of the developer or entity proposing the projects, a digital signature, and a date. The following pages collect more information about the project: the study area name, the proposed station address, county, and a project description. The NEPA clearance form has a section for hazardous materials, historic resources, second page for historic resources, archaeological resources, vegetation, habitat, invasive species, protected species, water resources, Edwards Aquifer rules for any study areas in the listed counties, community impacts, other issues, and a categorical exclusion determination that will be made by TxDOT. The final page is not filled out by the developer. This concludes the NEPA clearance form. Site host verification form. Applicants with site agreements for electric vehicle charging must submit proof that the project installation is authorized by the property owner and the applicant. A property owner and the applicant can be the same entity. There should be one site host verification form per EV study area. All fields must be completed. Incomplete forms will not be considered. TxDOT will not correct or try to infer incomplete forms. Send completed forms to TxDOT _NEVI at txdot.gov with your completed application by the application deadline to be considered. No paper forms will be accepted. The deadline for submissions is October 16th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. The applicant section requires a name, an EV study area, proposed station address, the name of the authorized official, the authorized official's title, if the applicant is a certified hub entity, a digital signature, and a date. The property owner section gives consent to the installation of the DC fast charge equipment and agrees that the applicant listed above is obligated to keep the charging station equipment in operation and in service for a minimum of 5 years after installation per requirements in the TxDOT request for grant application. The property owner will enter their name, their title, if the owner is a hub entity, a digital signature, and a date. This completes the site host verification form.